So welcome to your second dive of the afternoon. We have brought you to a wonderful dive site called Great Wall East. So basically, I think when people picture the Bloody Bay Wall Marine Park, they think of the dramatic Bloody Bay Wall that we have. And as I think I was mentioning yesterday anyway, we class 3 dive sites within the marine park as the sheerest of our dive sites, and we're on one of them now. We're actually in the middle of that very, very vertical sheer section. So we're on Great Wall East. The next boat along is on Great Wall West, and then we've got Ringer's Wall, which is the next one along. And I think you'd be hard pushed to find anywhere else in the world where you've got such a sheer vertical wall. So it really is pretty dramatic. You might have seen the photograph behind the desk in the shop. That's actually taken at Great Wall East. It was a number of different photographs that the photographer then digitally stitched together. So that's quite a well-known image within the marine park. You were going to have Reese in the water with you on this one. You know what he looks like by now. So I mean, as you can see, it's tricky navigation. So I'd stick close by. He'll keep you straight and narrow. If you would like to join Reese on his magical mystery tour, he is very good at pointing all the small stuff and cool stuff out to you. You could just descend and probably just wait for him on the edge of the wall if you like. Be careful, it's pretty sharp. I could never make that one work. What some people do like to do though is once they've come over the wall, they like to swim just a short while away from the wall. I'm going to say 20 to 30 seconds tops, guys. Don't go too far. And then turn around and just admire Mother Nature at her greatest. It really is a very dramatic section of the wall, so it's definitely worth doing. Important thing after that is to swim back to the wall. That's key. I don't want you getting disorientated out there in the blue. You might find though actually in the blue sections there's some very cool hydroids and stuff at the moment. I've noticed that we get a long one that's very translucent and almost looks like a ribbon. That's called a Venus girdle. That's very cool. And there's another one, I'm not quite sure what it's called, but it almost comes in like 4 segments and it's got this interior section. I need to find out what the name is. But they're very mesmerising. If you look at them, and if you have a flashlight, for example, you can see they're sort of glowing. It's very, very cool, quite interesting to see. So
like a Tina 4 or
yeah, they're a cluster of tunicates, some of them, that then sort of collect together, but they're super cool. Just be mindful as well, you can see that the boat is sort of swinging from pretty much parallel to the wall and then over the wall. So if it is over the wall when you're doing your giant stride, just make sure anything you want to keep is just properly secure to yourself. Because again, things like weight pockets, if they go, nobody's going after them. They are sacrificed to the sea monsters. So what Reese is planning on doing is, so if you swim well, swim away from the wall, come back, and then he's going to be taking a right-hand turn. So he's going to be heading in a more easterly direction, so east on east. And he's going to have the wall on his right and the blue out on his left. Just like any of the wall dives, you're obviously every now and again going to keep your eyes on the blue, anything that might be gliding on past. We're always keeping our eyes peeled for sharks, those ocean triggers that we've talked about. What else? Barracuda. Somebody's even seen a marlin before off the wall, and things like yellowfin tuna. So you never know. It's worth checking you out anyway. And then the wall itself is absolutely covered in life. I was kind of touching upon it yesterday a little bit with all these different sponges. Sponges are actually super cool. So they're filter feeders. And they're extremely slow growing. So a barrel sponge, for example, grows at approximately about 1/4 of an inch a year. So on some of the dive sites within the marine park, they are enormous. So you know, it's pretty awesome to think that maybe when Christopher Columbus sighted the sister islands way back when, some of these might have been little baby barrel sponges. So that's really cool and impressive to think about, I think. And they all play host to a whole lot of critters that I've already mentioned before, so things like those banded coral shrimps, brittle stars, yellow line arrow crabs. One that I haven't yet mentioned actually likes to live in soft coral, and it's a lovely little crab called a neck crab, and it's in the decorator crab family, and what it does is it likes to attach bits of algae and sponge to itself, because then it feels like it's invisible. But they're pretty cool, and if you point them out, for example, they kind of go like this, and then they'll just follow you wherever you go. They're like, I've got my eyes on you. So I really like them. Again, they're pretty small, but they come in varying sizes, but you know, normally about that, sometimes that. Some of them are red, some of them are brown. Just depends what they've attached to themselves. But I absolutely love a neck crab. So this is my signal for neck crab. So I like to go super slow, nice glacial pace as I'm going, because I don't want to miss anything. Look in the nooks and the crannies as well. We get things called those rough file clams, for example. I kind of describe them as like a red Venus flytrap looking thing. Oh, here's the neck crab, guys. How can you not love these things? Look at them. Look at that. Yeah, they're super cool. So they just like cover themselves in sponge and algae and all sorts. And there's a particular neck crab called a unicorn neck crab. They're amazing. Much smaller, but yeah. Very cool little critter. Thanks very much, Reese. Yep. So yeah, those are rough file clams. So they've kind of got like a red interior and then these sort of translucent tentacles coming out. And any sort of little nooks or crannies that you can see, there's usually some sort of rough file clam in there. So I'm always looking out for those too. So what Reese will obviously plan on doing probably is about 15 or so minutes in this direction. He's then going to shallow up and then start his return journey. But what you might find, actually, bang on about 15 minutes, depending on your rate of swimming, there are a couple of very large barrel sponges, and they've got very textured outsides. And you can probably tell that we really like crabs. But there's another kind of crab that's really quite unusual. It's there some of the time, not all of the time. I don't want to get your hopes up too much. But it's called a gaudy clown crab, a gaudy clown crab. They're so cute, very pretty. Yeah, I'm not going to attempt to draw it because it just isn't going to do it any justice. It's a teeny tiny little crab, and it's got these sort of orangey splodges on it. It's so pretty. Last time I was there, I was pointing it out, and there was this very territorial little damselfish that kept sort of swimming in front of it and being like, "What are you doing? Get away from my gaudy clown crab." So I kept pointing it out. There you go. Look at that.
Oh, wow.
So pretty.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there it is. So Reese will be sure to point that out to you if it's there. He does like to go off on his vacation sometimes. But yeah, super cool. Every day's vacation. Perfect.
Do you have electric clams or electric?
Alas not. That would be amazing. Sadly not, no. You have to go sort of Indonesia for that sort of thing. Yeah, but that would be cool. So as I was saying, sort of 15 minutes or so, and then he's going to start shallowing up. He's going to make his way back over the top of the wall. And then, just like any of the wall dives in the marine park, you've got a couple of options here. So if you're an absolute lover of the wall, and you want to keep one eye on the blue at all times, you could hug the edge of the wall on your return journey. You're going to get quite a lot of life on the edge here because you've got a good flush through of nutrients. So you're going to have lots of sort of more dense soft corals, perhaps more fish life in that section. Or if you're feeling a little adventurous, you can sort of meander your way back. If you see a little coral head here you want to check out, or a coral head there, etc. This is what I tend to do anyway. I sort of do a U shape on my way back. There's no huge little coral heads, but you'll find some small little coral bombies as you're going along. So again, looking out for those different juvenile fish, maybe some spotted morays, that kind of thing. A group a couple of days ago, there is a coral head just by the mooring pin. Apparently they saw an octopus, so you never know, he might still be there. Worth checking out. Just like always, guided tour's going to be about 40 minutes in length. Reese will bring you to the shallows by the boat. He's going to point the boat out to everyone behind him. He's going to head up to give me a hand getting me back on. But you've got a maximum of 50 minutes on this one, 50 minutes. Obviously air dependent as always. Quick reminder, 60 feet maximum depth, please. This line's not down there. So keep an eye on those dive computers.